Good evening everyone and welcome to TTL F2. We are here for Season 7, Round 3 of the Championship as we take in the Baku street circuit from the capital of Azerbaijan for the Baku Grand Prix. We are here of course for the Azerbaijani Grand Prix. And good evening everyone, I'm James here, going to be taking you the action as always. Joining me in the commentary box as always on a Tuesday night, it is Mr. Aidan Carter. Aidan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, and to be honest, I'm really excited for what's happening tonight.
Absolutely, yeah, me too. I think Baku's going to be something crazy, and the races so far have been crazy for many different reasons, so I imagine we're going to get more of the same.
We are definitely going to get more of the same, I think, and hopefully we are going to get some great racing, as you say, out on track. Let's focus then on what happened last week. Of course, it was Spike taking the win from Vic Mill in second and Blizzard in third in the feature race. That nearly set the night for the sprint race as well. It didn't in the end, because Honey Badger took the sprint race, Siege was second and Brandon Glover was third. So 6 different drivers on the podium last time out in both the feature and the sprint race. Are we going to see anything like that tonight? Then you'll just have to wait and find out. Casper took the stick-em-up driver of the day as well, drove very well out on track, and the Finn definitely deserved the driver of the day award, so well done to him. Looking through the standings, and we were talking about this just before we came live, and my god, the top 5 in the drivers' standings are separated by 9 points out on track. Toxic, currently still the championship leader after his disastrous Spain, on 47 points leading the way. From Vic Mill in second on 42 points, Siege in third on 39 points, with Honey Badger and Spike tied for fourth on 38 points. You can really grasp how difficult and how tight the drivers' standings actually are. Blizzard is in 6th, not too far off the pace, he's on 32 points. Troy is in 7th on 25, Venom in 8th on 22, Ollie Flavel in 9th on 16, and Sean in 10th on 12. Then we've got Brandon Gluffer on 10 and 11th, Conti's in 12th on 8, Casper in 13th on 6, although he picked up quite limited points last week, he still got the driver of the day award and it was well deserved. Storm, TTG Storm in 14th on 4 points, Z3xer in 15th on 1, and we've got Jamil 007 Professional, YWR Storm, Lighty and Maze still yet to pick up any points out on track. Campos currently leading the way in the constructors standings on 59 points, from BWT Arden in second, tied for second with Arc Grand Prix on 46 points. Dams in 4th on 39 points, with Univitosi in 5th on 38 points, only a point behind the Dams team. Trident in 6th on 33. Prima in 7th on 25, with MP Motorsport in 8th on 22. And Sauber Junior and Carlin tied for 9th on 16 points. And just to grasp how difficult and how tight these standings are, the top 5 separated by 9 points coming into tonight, it is anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely anyone's game. I think after Bahrain, I think both of us were a little bit worried because Toxic absolutely dominated Bahrain by taking the feature and the sprint race win in pretty dominant fashion. Come into Spain and he still looked fast, but like you said, had a pretty disastrous race last time out, and that's brought everyone back into contention again. So it's really close to feel up, and I think Baku is the perfect race to get kind of the odd result out of people. I think it's a race where people who make the least amount of mistakes are going to benefit. I think being the fastest necessarily isn't the best thing here because mistakes can easily be made. So it's going to be interesting to see how the championship fluctuates throughout this event.
I honestly think it is going to fluctuate so much. We will see the race change multiple times in both the feature and the sprint race. More so, I think, within the feature race, definitely. And hopefully we can get some good racing out on track. What I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to pick on somebody at random. This is what I tend to do now in the streams. Apologies about the blue screen, and apologies that you probably can't hear Aidan as well. But I am going to search for a random victim to pick for an interview. So, this man, he said, do we want to have interviews on the stream? I think yes is the answer to that, and hopefully he will be able to join up in just a second. Hopefully he's not away from his PS4 like he was on Saturday. We shall get this interviewee in. This is something that I will be adding to the streams in future weeks as well. And interview in, and we can do, because he's just joined, it is Toxic.
Good, thanks. How are you, James?
I'm doing really well. Excited for what's going to unfold tonight?
Yeah, hopefully it will be a good race, and hopefully I don't bottle again.
Well, you are top of the pressure for you out on track, or do you think that you've got the pace over everyone in behind to try and take the spoils out on track?
I doubt I have the pace over everyone, but I'm going to try and take a different approach tonight and just take it lap by lap, corner by corner, and hopefully keep out of the walls.
Aiden, do you want to ask a question to Toxic while he's here?
Oh,
put him on the spot.
I think my question is probably going to be, who do you say if you're going to go for the red swing? Who do you think your biggest competition is going to be for the win tonight?
Blizzard, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Fair enough. I probably agree with that. I'd probably say he's definitely up there.
Yeah. Or Honey Badger if he's racing. So yeah.
There we are then. I think we've heard it from the man himself, Honey Badger, and that man there, CRG Blizzard, is going to be his main rivals out on track. I do believe we are just moments away from getting the lobby started. So final question from myself. Toxic, what are your tactics out on track tonight, or do you not want to give yourself a little bit of do not reveal it if you don't want to?
Tactics, undercut. I'll try and undercut everyone. They believe
undercut everyone. Pretty simple and plain answer, I think, there from Toxic. Thank you very much. We'll let you get on as the countdown now unfolds out on track. Thank you very much, Toxic.
No worries.
Oh, okay. That was the first interview for TTL F2 this season. Hopefully the first of many that we will introduce on the stream. 19 drivers then out on track. The biggest TTL F2 attendance I think we've had in the 2 seasons we've run the current format, which is unreal. 2 new drivers to speak about tonight. My co-commentator on a Friday night as he is Speedy Suarez. He is driving in the... Just checking, he's in the BWT Arden with Vic Mill, yes. And we've got the Univertosi seat also filled up, the other one. VRT Lyronics is back. How do you make their chances here out on track tonight?
I think it's going to be interesting to see, because I've never commentated over Lyronics and Suarez before. I know Lyronics has good pace and he's quite a formidable driver, so I imagine he'll be relatively near the front. But obviously F2 is a completely different ballgame to the likes of Formula 1, and we see a number of people who may not shine as much in F1 really shine in Formula 2. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they can do. I'm definitely looking forward to see what Lyronics can pull out of the bag.
I honestly think it is going to be fantastic to see how they get on. I think Lyronics could be an outside chance, possibly, for a top 5 finish. You've heard it here first. That is how high I rate him for sure. And Speedy Suarez obviously coming into tonight as well. We'll see how he gets on. In the meantime, we'll go on board with one of our drivers in this 777 Professionals. We are about to start a full lap here of the Baku city circuit. Of course, the capital of Azerbaijan hosted the Eurovision Song Contest in 2012. 777 Professional coming through turn 1 very nicely there indeed. Down in 18th place, Venom is also down there in the other MP Motorsport, but Honey Badger, Spike and Toxic currently out on top. Through turn 2, and he's on a set of super soft compound of tyres. 2 compounds of tyres here tonight, super softs and mediums, and 777 Professional right down at the bottom so far. But you never know, you might see a lot of changes coming down in towards turn 3, and that's looking quite nice through there as he now comes towards where the old city meets the new, and this is what this track is, probably famed for the castle section about to come up in a couple of corners time. But through the first sector, it's a 39.8 through the first sector, and he jump up into 6th position. So 007 doing a good job out on track. There are the flame towers just in front of the car out on track. So he runs now down towards the formidable section on the track, and it is of course the castle section. This is the section that is coming up now, and 777 Professional, you've got to have commitment, you've got to have balls of steel through here, and that looked pretty neat and tidy through there from 007. He's now at the highest point on the track through turn 12, and then all the way downhill now towards the line as we come towards turns 13, 14 and 15. See, Threekser has retired from the session, so has picked up an invalidation somewhere. Now in towards turn 15, highest point on the track. We go downhill from here. There is the sea just in the foreground of shot as well. 125.2 actually there from 007. It's Spike, Honey Badger and Siege currently out on top as he now comes through 18 and 19. Of course, the Kinker turn 20 will await the long 1 kilometre straight plus 1 kilometre straight running down the straight here now for 007 as he comes across onto the DRS point and runs down towards the line. Can he get ahead of Vic Miller, wonder for 7th? 007 currently on for 8th. Troll is retired from the session on a set of mediums, but it's Spike who takes pole position here, and it's by a 10th of a second. Honey Badger in 2nd and Toxic not too bad in 3rd. 007's lap a 1:51.7. I'm very surprised actually how many drivers have set a lap time through there.
Yeah, I think
16.
a number of people. Yeah, I think a number of people kept it quite cautious actually. I was on board with Toxic for that lap, and by the looks of things, he was fastest in the 1st and 3rd sector. He has a pretty good straight line speed setup, but he was far more cautious than the likes of Spike in the middle part of the lap. So I think Toxic's gone for something a little bit different by the looks of things. But again, Spike, another really good qualifying result for Spike.
Fantastic qualifying result from Spike, and the Universality team go to the top of the standings. So Spike takes it from Honey Badger in 2nd, Toxic in 3rd, Siege in 4th, top four, separated by 5/10 of a second, and Blizzard in 5th. In the Trident, Brandon Glover in 6th with Vic Mill in 7th, 007 in 8th, Sean in 9th, Conti in 10th, Speedy Suarez in 11th on his debut, good performance from him, Maze, Ollie Flavel, Lighty, VRT, Lyronics down in 15th, YWR Storm the other one to get in, see Threekser, Venom, and I think it was Lighty down at the bottom, or Troll, one of the two, all of them had DNF'd on their laps. So we come from qualifying into the formation lap, and honestly, what are you expecting here tonight? 19 drivers out on track. I'm expecting a little bit of chaos, if I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I think everyone probably watching this could predict what I was going to say. But yeah, I think it's going to be a bit chaotic. I think we're going to have... I don't want to say a number of few incidents, because we don't want to see that from people. We want to see good, hard racing. But I think this track kind of leads to that possibly happening. So I think we may have a bit of a topsy-turvy race. So look for people... coming through the pack or people falling through the pack from the front. So, yeah, look out for that.
It is going to be very interesting to see. The 5-second countdown is underway on the formation lap. Just having a look through the comment section. Thank you to everyone who was tuning in for their motorsporting fix on this Tuesday night. Even if it is sim racing, of course, we can't give you the real thing out on track. 15 laps then await the drivers out on track. And just looking through the comment section, Cam coming in earlier on and saying he hopes to be back and joining with us soon for TTL F2, which is good to see. Good evening to Lyronics, good evening to Toxic, good evening to Maze, Mashiro, Navy in the comment section as well. Storm saying, interestingly, think this is going to be a great race with lots of battles out on track. And knowing Storm, who was qualified, if I just try and look up, I don't think Storm's actually here tonight, TTG Storm, he's not.
No, I believe Storm's actually been replaced in BWT Arden by Suarez.
Oh, yeah.
I believe there's been a driver change. There's been a driver change in the lineup there, so Suarez has actually taken Storm's seat from this point onwards, I believe. But yeah, Storm definitely he knows his way around an F2 car, and he knows what the races are like in this tier. So yeah, I think I definitely agree with Storm in that one. In the case of there's going to be quite a number of battles throughout this race.
I think, honestly, if we get clean racing, then I think everyone will be very happy indeed. I highly doubt that, though, with the amount of cars that we've got out on track, and this track in particular, being Baku, I can honestly see, and I'm not going to tempt fate here, I can honestly see a pile-up going into the castle section.
I can see it too. I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it to happen.
I can definitely see it happening, though. In the meantime, though, I'm just looking through tyre strategies. Proper mix of tyre strategies so far. So Spike on pole stayed on the super softs. Honey Badger's gone for the mediums. So look out for him. He's, I'd say, probably the first 2 or 3 laps he's going to struggle quite a bit to keep up with the super softs around him, and then I think he'll start to come into his own then. Toxic and Siege gone for the super softs. Blizzard's on the mediums. Vic Mill's also on the mediums. I'm not surprised by that choice, to be honest. I think Vic Mill's the king of the alternate strategy at this point. Sean has gone for the mediums as well, and then people at the back of the grid, so Lighty, Lyronics, C3, Venom and Troll have all gone for the mediums, but I'm going to keep my eye out today for Venom. I think he's going to absolutely fly through the field, so I think he's going to be the one to watch.
Do you know what? You took the words right out of my mouth there, because I was going to ask you how Venom is going to get on out on track. I honestly think he is going to pick these guys up one by one and maybe even get within himself a good top 10 chance for sure, maybe even a top 5, I think, it's not out of its remit here tonight. But we have got the final cars coming onto the grid, or the cars are just about to join up onto the grid. I'm going to push you then for a top 3, with there being 19 drivers here. Who is your top 3?
I think race winner, I'm going to go for Blizzard. I think Blizzard's been fast, but it's not necessarily had the results so far this season, so I think Blizzard's going to get the win this time round. I think second, I'm going to go for Honey Badger. Third, I'm going to go for Spike.
I'm going to go Toxic for the win. I think he's got a good setup around here. I was using it in time trial. Honey Badger in second. Vic Mill for third. There you go. Watch out for Venom, though. And watch out for the 5 red lights, because we're about to go out here for round 3. The feature race is about to begin. And it's lights out and away we go. Good start there by Spike. Honey Badger looks like he's got a better start. He will drop into the slipstream, I should say. Blizzard trying to force his way through on Vic Mill there for 6th position. Everyone looking cleanish through turn 1 by the looks. Yeah, everyone clean through turn 1 safely. Now through turn 2, and Spike leads the way. Toxic has done Honey Badger around the outside into turn 2. What a great move that was by the man. And Siege is right on the back of Honey Badger as well. Everyone looking quite clean through the start. YWR Storm and Z3 are losing positions early on, but Spike down in towards turn 3 leading the way. Siege is down the inside of Honey Badger, very close to the wall. Look at Brandon Glover getting involved as well. Been a little bit of contact in the background. I think 007 might have been caught up in a little bit of contact, possibly with Conti. I'm not sure about that, but Spike leads the way from Toxic at the end of the first sector as they come into the site of the Flame Towers. Look at Blizzard fighting Honey Badger here. Honey Badger dropping like a stone, and Blizzard contacting with the wall. Here comes Vic Mill, Mr. Consistent himself, trying to get the move done down the inside. Has he got the move done? Oh, it's very tight here. They're not going to go side by side into the castle section. God, I hope not, and they don't. Thank goodness for that. Vic Mill is on the back of CRG Blizzard, but everyone looking clean through the castle section, and the lap 1 pile-up that we predicted has definitely not happened, which I'm very glad to see. YWR Storm, I think, got caught up in a little bit of a moment further down the field, and Toxic is on the back of Spike, but relatively a good start. And I tell you, somebody who's gained a lot of positions, Speedy Suarez, is on the back of Sean, running downhill now. Vic Mill just ahead of him out on track, but the Spaniard looking very good, and I think there's been a mistake from Spike out in front, because Toxic is right on the back of him. It's 5/10 of a second now. It was down to a 10th and 3/4, so Spike has definitely got something wrong. That setup definitely looks a little bit wrong, unless he's picked up from wing damage, I wonder. Toxic to the outside line. He's going to take the lead of the race here, and Toxic will take the lead. Spike hasn't got front wing damage running down the straight. Toxic will defend the inside line. Spike on the outside line. Very good lap 1 though by a majority of drivers, and it's Toxic who leads the way down into turn 1 from Spike in second. Siege in third. Brandon Glover up to 4th. Good start from him. Honey Badger in 5th. Ollie Flavel in contact early on has came into the pit lane. CRG Blizzard currently in 6th. Vic Mill 7th. Sean and Ed. Speedy Suarez in 9th. And look at Conti trying to go around the outside of him here. YWR Storm has been a bit of a desync moment then. I think Siege has been overtaken by Vic Mill. There's a lot going on, and Brandon Glover's gone backwards as well.
Yeah, I think Brandon Glover came into contact with someone who's got front wing damage on the left-hand side, and he was spun on the exit of turn 2. And he's
right side. He's actually lost both end plates, I do believe.
Oh, yeah, he's dropping like a stone now, and I was on board with Suarez. I think Suarez desynced through Conti on my screen as well. So,
oh my god!
But Suarez is up to 7th. Suarez is having an incredible start.
It's nearly 3 wide in the background between Maze, Venom, and I think that's 007 Professional trying to get involved as well. VRT Loronics is getting a little bit messy. Maze and Venom, I think that was trying to go side by side. Never going to pull it off down there, and he was always going to catch the curb on the inside and half spin the car. Everyone going through in towards the castle section for the second time. Side by
section.
Lyronics.
Lyronics had to completely back out of that one. I think that move is never going to come off really, but that was close, and good for Lyronics to back out of it. But yeah, a shame for Brandon Glover. He was up to the top 4. He was on for a good shot of a possible podium, and he's unfortunately fallen back with front wing damage now. So I imagine he's going to be pitting at the end of this lap.
Most positions gained, by the way, out on track. The man you said you'll watch out for, Venom. 5 positions gained currently out on track. Well, I'm watching on board with Siege, who is on the back of Vic Mill. Vic Mill's gained 2 positions early. Siege has dropped 2. But these guys, I think, are going to be side by side. Mason's gone through and Brandon Glover further down the field, but Siege now on a set of super softs against a set of mediums of Vic Mill. You can probably see where this one is going to go. Remember, no DRS until lap 3, and Siege is on the inside line. It's a pure drag race down to the start-finish line and down towards turn 1. Siege on the inside line, Vic Mill on the outside line, trying to get the move done, and he does. Siege is up the inside. Good move that, and Vic Mill just caught on the curb down into 6th position. Siege, good move though.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened to Siege. I imagine he's probably the one that made contact with Brandon because he was up in P3. Here comes it with those coming back at Siege down into turn 3.
Outside line?
Outside. It's quite late, but I think Siege has just got the tie up at this point. Yeah, Siege is going to hold.
Oh, he might go switchback actually. He might line them up in towards turn 4.
Not quite going to get there in time, I don't think. And I think it's smart from Vic maybe to just let this one go. I think Siege is on the better tyres at this point. But yeah, I think a dreadful start really for Honey Badger. He fell through the field massively at the start of the race, but he's kind of been saved by the fact that Siege and Brandon Glover had some sort of incident in front, and that's gained him back 2 places. So I think he's been able to recuperate himself well, and Blizzard isn't quite able to match Honey Badger at this point in the race. Meanwhile, top 2, Spike has gathered himself up again and is looking to challenge Toxic. I think this is quite similar to what we saw last time out in Spain. Toxic would get off to a very, very good start in the early part of the stint, and then the person behind would slowly reel them back in. So I think we're kind of seeing a repeat of what happened last time out at this point. Toxic hasn't.
I'm going to cut in here. Oh, I thought Venom was going to go down the inside into turn 15 on Maze. Maze does well to back it off. Goodness me, Venom is looking very racy here tonight. Down the inside into turn 15, he nearly pulled that one off, but he doesn't. He stays in 11th position. Sorry I cut in there.
That's absolutely fine. Just looking down the field as well, Brandon Clover did come into the pits, and I think Douglas, a professional, is going to do the same. He's missing both end plates at this point. Spike, just looking at the gap between Spike and Toxic, Spike does not have a very fast car in a straight line. I think this is kind of a trait of Spike we've seen before. I think we commented on it quite a lot last season, actually, that Spike would get to the front of the field and kind of disappear, but as soon as he fell into the pack and tried to overtake someone, it was very difficult for him to overtake because his straight line speed wasn't as good as those around him. So I think we're kind of seeing that again at a track where straight line speed is really king, actually, and straight line speed is what we need to kind of make moves.
Oh, goodness me, just riding on board with Venom, and Sean just had a little bit of contact there. It looked like Sean actually got a bit of oversteering opposite lock coming out of the corner, but now Venom is on the inside line, down into turn 3, very late on the brake. Sean will defend this one around the outside, but he's not going to have close enough because Venom is through, down the inside line, down into turn 3, gets the move done. Fair play there from Sean to try and defend the position, but he didn't, and Venom is through and he's up into P10, out on track. Good move.
Yeah, P10 from 18th on the grid already.
Wow.
He's only lapped all. He's had a brilliant start. He kind of made his way through the chaos pretty well. Didn't get caught up in any incidents as far as we're aware. So, yeah, he's made a brilliant start.
Ollie further down the field, I think, might have gone down the escape road into turn 2. I wonder. He's lost the position to Z3,
he was trying to make a move on Brandon Glover, I believe, and just maybe overcooked it. And Z3 and Brandon both got back through again, and 007 Professional did pit, so he's come out in last place at the moment. A shame for the likes of Z3, Flavo and Glover, who have shown good pace this season, and Z3 has been really unlucky so far this season, and unfortunately the luck's not really come his way again so far at Baku. So fingers crossed he gets a bit more luck maybe in the sprint race or in the next round.
Right on board with Spike, trying to close in on Toxic. Look at him, he's pretty much at a very high revs here, nearly 9,000 RPM running down the straight. He's not close enough to Toxic down the inside line. If that was a Formula 1 car, then I think he probably would have got the move done, but it's a Formula 2 car. It's a little bit slower, but Spike having to hang on for second position. Venom, oh look at the closing speed from Venom on the back of Maze, gets the move done. It's also side by side on the back end between Sean and Lyronix. Lyronix, the German, is going to go through on the Britty around the outside. Sean late on the brakes though, gets the move done around the outside. So we see 2 position gains there. Venom up to 9th, Lyronix up to 11th. Good moves.
Yeah, absolutely. Venom's straight line speed is incredible. He was nearly 12 miles an hour faster than Maze down the straight. And for F2 cars, without ERS and without fuel mixes, that's an incredible amount of straight line speed. So I imagine Venom's going to make a lot of these moves look relatively easy. Just commenting on some other things as well, Speedy Suarez is starting to reel in his teammate and Siege in front. Siege, after passing Vic Mill, just hasn't had the pace to catch back up to those in front. And the mediums are definitely starting to be the better tyre. Honey Badger, over the past few laps, has taken nearly a second out of the 2 in front of him, so he's definitely closing in on the lead at this point. So I would be surprised to see people into the pits at the end of this lap as Troll's been disqualified for driving the wrong way.
Yeah, down the escape road at turn 2 that was. So he's down the escape road at turn 2. I think he must have had a problem maybe with his setup. He was round nobody at the time. So I think he's had a bit of a disconnect. His wheels disconnected or something out on track. But yeah, coming on with Speedy Suarez, he's driving a really astute race currently out on track. He's in 7th, but look at Vic Mill all over the back of Siege. These mediums, I think, are now beginning to come into play, and those super softs are slowly beginning to ebb away. And I mean, look at the gap for the lead. That was 5/10 at one stage on this lap. It's now a second, so Toxic has pulled out the gap and is clearly looking quicker.
Yeah, Toxic's into the pits though. Toxic feigns staying out and dives straight into the pit lane at the last moment, and Spike has stayed out. So Toxic, like he said in the interview, he's going for the undercut. He's trying to get more pace out of those mediums early on, and trying to yeah, Siege is doing the same thing. So is Suarez as well. So Suarez is trying to get the undercut on
Conti's in as well.
His teammate.
And Speedy Suarez, yeah. So Conti actually got overtaken there by Venom, just to pick out. Venom got the move done even before turn 1, and obviously Conti coming into the pits, he got the move done there. So he was up into, I think it was P8 out on track before he came into the pits. There's not really much going on, but I've got to be honest and say these super softs are now beginning to go off at a rate as where we would expect it to go off at, because I'm just on board with Lyronix at this stage. It's now 5/10 of a second. That gap the last time I looked was nearly 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's really caught really quickly. I'm just looking on board with Honey Badger. Honey Badger's taking chunks out of Spike's lead at this point, so Honey Badger's going to get the benefit of DRS down the pit straight, and imagine Spike is going to pit this lap to try and keep up as much as he can with Toxic. He's kind of in a race with him at the moment, but look out for Honey Badger at the end of this race. He's got some serious pace, and we know how fast he is when he comes in for his pit stop and goes out into the second half of the race, so look out for him for it to be a major challenger in this one.
Well, Z-Freaks and Conti having a battle further down. This is down towards turn 3, so Z-Freaks has got through on a set of super soft compound of tyres. Oh, and he spins the car. As soon as I say that, he's gone. Z-Freaks just loses the back end there. Goodness me. Lyronix, just coming back on board with the Lyronix. He was trying to get the move done around the outside into turn 15. Oh. A shame that for Z-Freaks though.
Yeah, just on board with Honey Badger at the moment. I think Spike's definitely coming into the pit lane. He's taking to the left-hand side. Yeah, he's in. So Honey Badger gets the benefit of DRS and Slipstream, and then Spike goes off into the pit lane. So let's see where he comes out relative to Toxic. We obviously haven't mentioned really much about Toxic's outlap or what his pace is at the moment. Let's see where he comes out relative to the person he was passing. I imagine Maze is probably going to be in as well. He is, yeah. So that's pretty much all of the super soft runners now that have pitted.
Lyronix is going to be ahead of his teammate, but where is Spike going to come out in all of this? There's Toxic, there is Spike just coming out of the pit lane, and Toxic, the undercut, has worked.
Wow.
He's got him. Quite comfortably as well. It's 4 seconds, I think, coming out the pits.
Toxic, yeah, he was about a second ahead of Spike coming into the pit lane. Coming out of the pits, 2 seconds and 1 out.
Wow.
The undercut is absolutely massive. It's 3.2 seconds. That's a crazy amount of pace. And Toxic's now coming up behind his teammate. I imagine his teammate will probably let him through. I think Sean's got front wing damage as well by the looks of things, so I don't imagine Sean putting up any sort of fight against his teammate
left side end plate.
Yeah, there we go. Sean's letting through, so Toxic's through, and if Sean stays out and is able to hold up Spike, that's another thing that is going to help Toxic out in this race. This is kind of the point in the race really where Toxic kind of makes or breaks his race really. He needs to try and gain as much time as he can on Honey Badger, who's definitely his biggest threat at the moment in terms of this race win. Blizzard and Vic Mill not really having the pace to keep up with Honey Badger at this point either though.
Yeah, they're not, and to be honest, Blizzard is struggling to even catch Honey Badger at this stage. 3.7 seconds. That gap was 3.2 2 laps ago. So Blizzard, I think, is now seriously under pressure. I'm not sure if it's regards to setup, I wonder, around here, but everyone within the pit lane has lost time at some point.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the problem for Blizzard, by the looks of things, is it's just not really got the confidence in the middle part of the lap, to be honest. His straight line speed compared to Honey Badger's pretty similar, so I imagine they're probably running relatively similar setups, but I just don't think Blizzard really has the confidence at this point in the race.
He doesn't have the confidence, I don't think, but he has taken a little bit of time out of him through turn 1. So I wonder actually if Honey Badger made a mistake.
There's Toxic,
I think he did.
53.3. There's the fastest lap from Toxic. Just going to go on board with Honey Badger and see what his last lap was.
Spike's trying to get through on Sean here. Sorry to cut in. Spike trying to get through on Sean. Sean's not going to make it easy. Spike's not going to go around the outside into turn 2. Goodness me. He is going to get the switch back though, and he should get the run down the straight. Blizzard 3.2 seconds away from Honey Badger. I'm sure you'll keep us updated on that, but Spike is down on the inside line. It's pretty much a drag race down towards turn 3, and I think Spike has got a DRS failure if I'm not mistaken. Sean's trying to hold it around the outside, and that somehow is a great defensive move to hold the position. Oh, and he nearly puts him into the wall. Sean just got to be careful. Spike has got the switch back to perfection, and yeah, he's not happy about that one. Sean and Spike may be letting their rivalry get at it again, but Spike is eventually through, and he's up to 7th. I think Sean might have just misjudged that, to be honest.
I think, yeah, I think Sean might have thought he was clear with Spike coming into the corner and just moved across, and Spike was still there, so that's Sean's fault, I'd say,
yeah.
that incident there. But look at the gap between Toxic and Spike now. Oh, nearly 5 seconds.
Wow.
So Spike is really lost out in this part of the race.
That's the advantage, though, of having clean air around this track.
Absolutely, yeah. Having clean air and not battling anyone around this track can gain you so much time. Meanwhile, I think we've done the commentator's curse again, as we say,
oh, no.
as we ride on board with Blizzard and say that he hasn't got any confidence. This lap is 7/10 of a second quicker.
Is Honey Badger missing a winglet on his right side end plate, I wonder?
I think he's
fine.
I think he looks fine from my end. I think the previous lap he made a little mistake in turn 1, but throughout the rest of the lap he's not really had that much. He's not really had that much speed throughout the rest of the lap. So
yeah,
maybe Honey Badger starting to struggle a little bit.
Blizzard, I think, is now beginning to sense that Honey Badger is beginning to struggle. We are now through onto lap 9 out of 15 out on track. I'm going to go on board, though, with Lighty, who's just going to be completely swallowed up there down the straight by Siege. The Siege has got the move done, and Lighty, rightly, I think, comes into the pit. Sean is in as well to replace that front wing damage. Remember, 5 seconds added on to his pit stop as a result of a front wing change here. Can even be a bit longer than that, to be honest, but the tyres have been changed. Only 6 members of the crew, of course, can work on the car at any one time, and Sean is going to come out the pits, and I think change as well. He is. So the Prima car is also into the pits for a front wing change. Ollie Flavel, by the way, who pitted earlier on in the race, I think, as regards to front wing damage, he could be landing himself in a possible top 8 position out on track. He is driving well. He's been one of the forgotten guys out on track, but he's driving very well into this race, and he's got Conti as 2nd and a half up the road. That's going to be influence for him to try and go and get a reverse grid pole, essentially.
Yeah, I think he was caught up in that kind of chaos in the first lap, and he pitted really early on. I think maybe at the end of lap 2, I think he pitted to change his front wing, and he's driven a pretty good comeback so far. I think he's just made a mistake, actually, as we say that, but he's driven a pretty good comeback race so far. I think a top 10 is definitely possible. I'm not sure about reverse grid pole at this point, just because of the people that are still yet to pit. We've got the likes of Ironics.
Honey Badger's in.
Still yet to pit. Yeah, Honey Badger's in, and so
Honey Badger in. Blizzard catching down to the final corner, and look how close they are coming into the pits. Goodness me!
Wow, yeah.
It was 2 seconds. 2 seconds coming into the pits. It was.
Wow. And Vic Mills also in. So is Venom.
Yep.
They're all coming in, apart from Ironics. Ironics is the only one
staying out. 600 slow improvement on his personal best. He's got Toxic ahead of him. I wonder if this is a tactical ploy by the Universality team. Ironics and Spike might be in the same party. Toxic now essentially is dressed into a sandwich, and Toxic is now on the back. What has happened?
Honey Badger comes out of the pit, less than a second behind Spike, and immediately has DRS. Wow, this is game over, I think, for Spike at this point. I think Honey Badger and Blizzard, who's only 6, he's only got 6 tenths of a second behind Honey Badger.
Where's that came from?
Yeah, blimey. So Honey Badger and Blizzard at this point are going to absolutely mug Spike by the looks of things. It depends on whether Spike puts up a fight for it. Does Spike put up a fight and defend it, or does he let them go and let them catch Toxic and maybe hope for some sort of drama in front of him? I'm not quite sure which way he'd play this.
I've got to be honest, I would say defend the position and fight for what's right out on the track.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, because at this point it's kind of done and dusted, really, isn't it? The pace that Honey Badger and Blizzard are going to have. I think if Spike defends too much, he then becomes under pressure from Vic Mill, who's still not too far back.
The pace of Blizzard right on the back of Honey Badger. 5/10 of a second separating these three guys out on track. And I tell you what, he's looking quicker than Honey Badger at this stage. Blizzard could be landing himself. Oh, and he's nearly got into the back of him. Goodness me. God almighty, that is close to contact. No front wing damage. Fine to report. Yeah. No front wing damage to that left side end plate of Blizzard's car. But that looked a little bit hairy there. Goodness me.
Yeah, I think Honey Badger got caught out by Spike going so slowly through the kinks.
And again.
Yeah, and he's really again.
3 wide. Look at Blizzard's speed. 3 wide. No, he's going to go through the middle. 3 wide down the straight. Blizzard's going to get both of them with his straight line speed down the straight. Chuli's on the inside line. Honey Badger's not going to defend this one around the outside. Chuli. Blizzard has pulled off a fantastic move. Can he get the move done? He can. Yes. What a move. Blizzard through the middle, parting of the Red Sea here in Baku, quite literally. And Blizzard is through and he's up to second. What a move. He looks so much quicker there.
So well timed. That is such a smart piece of driving from Blizzard. Incredibly smart to wait.
Here comes Honey.
Yeah, he's not close enough. Blizzard knew that Honey and Spike were going to be fighting, and he just waited until the perfect moment and just sent it through the middle. He put a lot of faith in Spike and Honey Badger not squeezing him while he was in the middle of there. Brilliant driving. From all three of them to not come together, but from Blizzard, that is incredibly smart driving.
That is the best move I've seen in TTL F2 in the 2 seasons that I have covered this. That is an absolute world-class move and world-class driving from both Blizzard, Honey Badger and Spike there. All 3 of them deserve recognition for that. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Just to point out, by the way, as well, Venom, out ahead now of Speedy Suarez, he's in 7th.
Sheesh, where has that come from?
Where? What?
Venom from 8. Can I just need to repeat this? Venom 18th on the grid. He is now 7th and catching Siege for P6. That's an incredible drive from Venom. That's absolutely incredible. It
comes to show, though, how things have actually panned out. People picking up just niggly bits of front wing damage. Ollie making a mistake, for example. Consi making a mistake. Oh, and I've just ruined him. He's just gone into the wall at the top of the hill. And he's got right on end plate damage. Commentators curse at its finest. And Speedy Suarez just bunny hops over the curb. It was Easter, what, a day ago, 2 days ago. And Venom has got back through, but he's got right side end plate damage. He's going to try and nurse that. Honey is right on the inside line. Not going to go for the move, though. Very close to the inside wall there, actually.
Yeah, Honey Badger had incredible straight line speed. He was about 6 or 7 tenths of a second behind Blizzard coming onto that straight and nearly passed him. So Honey Badger has got really, really good straight line speed. So this is going to have to try and gap Honey Badger as much as possible to try and keep that second place at this point. And not really catching Toxic as quickly as I thought they would.
They're not actually. 4.5 seconds out on track. I think the Super Softs only last around 4 laps out on track, which is why you're seeing these guys begin to try and gain. But I think it's as a result, possibly, of the little bit of a Constantine that we're seeing between Blizzard and Honey, which is just letting Toxic get away out on track. Venom is down the inside of Speedy Suarez. Oh, and Venom down the inside line. Speedy Suarez has gone down, part down the escape road there. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't think Venom should have tried to fight that with the front wing damage. He was on the inside line. He had the car down into the inside. I think Suarez was aware, possibly Venom on his inside. I'm not sure if there might have been a little desync there. I can't really describe that. Honey Badger's just made a mistake, by the way.
He's dropped out of DRS range. That's that could possibly do it for Honey Badger if he's not able to get back in within that DRS range. Blizzard could be gone at this point. Just a comment on that move from Venom. Yeah, I agree with you there. He's got 2 end plate. He's got end plate damage on both sides of his car. He really shouldn't be fighting that hardly for a position. I think Suarez was smart to go down the escape road and not get damage himself, and he's still won for a possible reverse grid pole in his first race. So Suarez is still in this one, and he's still got a good fighting chance of P8. But that's put Lyronics up to P8 now. So in his first race as well, he's kind of come from nowhere. He started further back than Suarez did, and he's kind of run a bit of a lonely race, but he's now fighting for P7, so he's kind of
Honey Badger! Oh, goodness me, Honey Badger, sorry to cut on board. He's hit the wall through turn 1. He locked up going into the corner. I caught that perfectly on stream. Right side end plate damage for the Honey out on track. And that, unfortunately, I think is game over in terms of his chase for Blizzard, and surely Spike is going to get him as well. Just by the way, Lyronics has got through on Venom. who is still trying to fight for a position. I think just take the 8th place and run, I would say.
Yeah, I think at this point, I wouldn't try and fight Lawrence too much, because if you get P8 with double front wing damage, that's a brilliant result still for Venom. He doesn't need to fight this so hard. Lawrence is just in such a better position at this point. It's just not smart to fight it really, and he hasn't. So he's staying in P8 for the time being, which is definitely a smarter choice than the one he previously made against Suarez by the looks of things. Just to comment as well, I think has Spike made a mistake? I think Spike may have just made a mistake.
Yeah, he's dropped 8/10 of a second. I think he might have got caught half spin on the inside curb just before the castle section, I think.
He lost about nearly a second and a half to Vickmill in the middle part of the lap, so that's given Vickmill a sniff of a chance of maybe a top 4 if he gets close to Honey Badger. But yeah, I think that mistake from Honey Badger has definitely still put the nail in the coffin, and we've done it again. We said Blizzard wasn't catching Toxic that much. Where the hell has this gap come from? 2.2 seconds. Game on.
900 up within the middle sector as well, so he could set a new fastest lap of the race here. Down the straight, he's not that strong. Toxic pulling away down the straight, but Blizzard now beginning possibly to reel him in. He's got 2 laps to do it, 2.3 seconds again. New fastest lap of the race. Everything is going right for him, but I'm very much concerned that it's 2.2 seconds out on track with 2 laps to go. He has got to absolutely fly here out on track. He has got to show why he is a world-class driver right here, right now.
Absolutely. I think this is going to have to be, by the way it's going to have to be a last lap pass for the lead, I think, from Blizzard. There's no way he's going to get it done this lap unless a mistake comes from Toxic.
2 seconds.
So, yeah, touch wood so far. Toxic has driven an impeccable race. He's back to his Bahrain ways.
Side by side, somebody cut in. Ollie Flavel and Conti down for P11 out on track. Oh, and Ollie just locks up down in the inside on turn 1, and Conti has did very well not to get front wing damage there. But Ollie Flavel just locking up there on Conti. He realised he was on the outside line. I think he just overdone it on the power there. But Ollie now down into P12, and the gap for the lead. I tell you what, Blizzard is coming alive. I think he's heard my comments about world-class driving. Goodness me. It's second. He's going to be within DRS.
Range. Yeah. Game on. It's going to be a last lap battle for the win between these two. I think Toxic predicted it absolutely perfectly that Blizzard was his main rival. Blizzard had a fairly innocuous first half of the race. He had a fairly innocuous first half of the race, and he's absolutely come alive. He's done a Honey Badger, and he's come alive in the second part of the race. It's crazy to see how quickly he's caught him. He won't have the straight line speed to go for turn 1.
Love the DRS.
If he's close enough.
He's going to be close enough, I tell you what. This is it.
Toxic was close to the wall.
0.5 of a second. He's going to be within range here.
It's possible. Toxic moved to the outside. He's not.
Look at the speed.
Yes, yeah, he's coming.
Here he comes. Blizzard for the lead of the race. Can he get the move done? Toxic on the outside line. He's not going to go for it. He wasn't close enough, but he could force Toxic into a mistake. This is a last lap battle to save her out on track. Blizzard on the back of Toxic, pretty much bump drafting him towards turn 2 there. Good the speed. It's what something you see in NASCAR. Blizzard right on the back of Toxic out on track, but now the straight line speed surely going to be superior. He's going to have to do it the hard way around the outside. This is a world-class performance.
Toxic,
these two are going to fight it out. Toxic's gone too late. Blizzard's going to be having to switch back, and he does. He's through, and Blizzard is into the lead of the race. Toxic just overcooking it. When the pressure got to him, it really mattered, and I think Toxic losing that out on track, but he's still within range to try and get that overtake done. It could be Bottas against Stroll once again in Baku, but it's Blizzard and Toxic this time.
It is very possible. Toxic, too late on the brakes.
He's got left side end plate damage, has he?
I think he's okay. By
no, he's fine.
Things. Yeah,
just my eyesight.
Toxic, lucky to get away with not hitting the wall there. Fair play to giving it out the wall, but just too late on the brakes, and that gave Blizzard the opportunity to do the switch back. At this point, though, I don't think Toxic's got the grip to keep the Blizzard for the straight. It's going to have to be these last 2 corners. Just to comment on what's happening behind as well. There's no battle really for P3.
Blizzard's hopped over the curb. Toxic's right on the back of him. pretty much bunny hopped over the curb. Both of them did, actually, and Toxic nearly got into the back of Blizzard. This is going to be a showdown to save her. Down towards the final couple of corners. Z3-2 is out of the race just in front of them, but here comes Blizzard and Toxic. This is going to go down to the wire. Blizzard gets a better run, but surely the DRS is going to favour Toxic. Blizzard is trying to weave down the straight. He's trying to break the toe desperately. Toxic to the line. It is going to be a photo finish. Toxic might get this, you know. Toxic on the outside line. Oh, he gets him. Oh, 1100. What?
Oh, Blizzard held it.
What? He held it. How?
I don't know how he held that.
What?
I'm shocked. What a finish.
Wow. Oh my God. We need time to really see what has happened there. Oh my God, what a finish.
Incredible. I thought Toxic had that. I really thought Toxic had won that. I really thought that he had the straight line speed to get Blizzard, but Toxic just wasn't quite on the racing line through the kink coming onto the long straight, and that cost him. Blizzard wins. Wow.
11 hundredths of a second. You will not see 11,000 of a second. You will not see a better final lap battle than that in TTL F2 probably ever. Blizzard and Toxic showing why these two deserve to be towards the top end of the standings. And I tell you what, absolute gameness from Toxic. He nearly got it. I feel so sorry for him. But that is the closest finish I think I might have ever commentated on. And that is world-class finishing here. That's just the feature race. We've still got the sprint race to come. Oh my God.
Breath, what a...
Light team professional out of the race on the final lap, by the way, just to point out on that.
And just to point out as well, our two rookies in the championship, front row for the sprint race. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, Suarez will be on pole ahead of Lyronix.
Oh my God.
I'm out of breath. What a race.
Goodness me. Sorry for going a bit high pitched, to be honest, with that one, but God, it was worth it. TTL F2 provides the closest finish you might ever see, and Blizzard, a sitting duck down the straight, has somehow taken the win. Toxic, you have to feel for him, finishing in second, and a great drive from Honey Badger in third. But when it mattered, the straight line speed of Blizzard, just about that final kink, told the difference, and the break of the toe told the difference. Blizzard by 11 hundredths of a second out on track. Wow. And there is the proof. No penalties at all. Blizzard takes the fastest lap of the race as well. Fantastic drive from him. I'm out of breath. Blizzard wins. Toxic in second. Honey Badger in third. Spike in fourth. Vic Mill, Mr. Consistent himself, in fifth, with Siege in sixth. Lyronix, best of the rookies, in seventh. Suarez in eighth. So you're right in saying there Suarez will start on pole position for the feature for the sprint race. Lyronix in seventh. Venom in ninth, just missing out on penalties, I do believe. No, he didn't. He missed out on the front wing damage. Mason 10th. Sean 11th. Conti 12th. Ollie Flavel 13th. Brandon Glover also finished. Lighty Professional. Z-Thuxa, YWR, Storm and Troll out of the race. My God, we had a spike in viewers as a result of the end of that race. Goodness me.
I don't know what to say.
Toxic. Toxic, by the way, confirming he did have damage. Oh, and it's wet!
He did.
What?
Oh my word.
Oh no!
Oh my God, my mind is fried. What? I can't keep up with this. What has this season been so far? The whole season, let alone the feature race, this season's been insane. This, oh my word, what a... I'm honestly speechless. I have no words. That is... I've never seen a finish like that in any league race I've ever raced in, watched, commentated over. I have never seen a finish like that. That is unbelievable.
I'm telling you now, that clip will go wide on social media within the league racing community. I guarantee you that.
Fair play to Toxic with front wing damage and older medium tyres to have to go for the win on the final lap. Fair play to him, but he was right that Blizzard was his main rival for this race. They were separated by the smallest of margins. That is incredible.
We should do more of these interviews, I think, coming into the feature race.
It definitely, it's a good omen, isn't it? Because it brings results like that. That's incredible. And now we've got a wet sprint race to deal with as well. Incredible.
a wet race, a wet sprint race to come. The closest finish to TTL F2 you may ever see. And oh my god, we deserve a break from this, but we're not going to. We're not going to. We've got the sprint race to commentate on. 11 laps awaiting the drivers here out on track. Speedy Suarez on pole, Lyronix in second, and that I think is a bit of a glitch because Lyronix, did he finish ahead of Speedy Suarez? Behind Speedy Suarez?
He finished ahead of Speedy
Suarez.
Ahead
of him. That makes sense then.
Lyronix did finish 7th, so it is Suarez on pole. But then, like I said, the 2 rookies are at the front of the grid, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do now that they're at the front. But who's the wet master? We haven't had a wet race so far, and I can't remember if we had a wet race last season. Really,
we did.
We did, yeah. I can't remember which race that was now, but
I think it was in Germany, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's going to be
a wet race in Germany, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Vic Mill is the master of the wet here, and Honey Badger. So watch out for them.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. I think this is going to bring out possibly some new podium sitters, maybe the masters of the wet at a street circuit like Baku. It's going to be crazy to see who comes out in front on this one. Yeah, I can't wait for it.
Well, honestly, if you haven't had your Easter treat just yet, if you've had your cream eggs, but you haven't had your Easter proper treat yet, then TTL F2 is going to give you that treat here tonight with the closest finish. I will keep repeating it during tonight's commentary. The closest finish you will ever see, and a wet race to come in the sprint race. Oh my god, we've got to prepare ourselves because this is going to be one wacky ride. We need a Ted Kravitz, I think, in here to take us through this one as well. I don't think we're going to keep up.
Oh god, this is going to be crazy. Fair play to the drivers though, just a shout out to all the drivers. We had a number of retirements, but racing wise so far,
very clean.
Race for a track, very clean. For a track like Baku, it's been brilliant so far. There's not really been many incidents at all, so fair play to all the drivers, brilliant stuff from all of them. So let's see if they can manage the same in the wet.
The flame towers in the background providing the perfect opportunity to provide a wet race.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing as well, Top6 just commented, dry setups. There's no setup change in between this feature and the sprint race. They're all going to be on dry setups.
Good point.
Yeah. So I wonder if anyone sacrificed a dry setup, sacrificed their dry setup in the feature race for a wet one in the sprint race. I wonder if anyone had done that.
Would they have been aware though of the weather coming into the into the sprint race? I don't think they would have been, to be honest.
They might not have been, no.
Top 3 from me, as I'm going to let you take the start of the race. I'm going to go for Honey Badger for the win, Vic Mill second, Toxic third.
Honestly, I was going to say the same, apart from I'm going to put Spike in third instead of Toxic, I think. Okay, here we go then. Yeah, let's wait for the lights then. Here we go. And the lights then, we've got 4 and then 5. Let's see who gets the best start in the wet conditions. Lights out and away we go. Lyronix looks like he's got a really good start compared to Suarez. It kind of levels out though. Oh, Lyronix though down the inside. Is he going to keep it down the inside? He is. There's a little bit of contact further back. Oh, Suarez really sideways on the exit of the corner. Well held. Oh, he comes across a little bit. Yeah, he comes across a little bit on Spike, but I think they managed to get away with it. So Lyronix is into the lead. Suarez drops the third. Well held though. He's kept going.
Been through everyone.
Yeah, no one. I don't think anyone's got any damage so far. So that's a brilliant start. Blizzard, what a start! 8th to 5th already, and he's going for Spike for 4th. Oh, Spike really late on the brakes into turn 3. That's far too late, and that's
Toxic as well.
Oh, I think Suarez kept it out of the wall. I don't know if Toxic went straight on or if he got damaged.
He got caught up with Vic Mill.
Oh, that's such a shame. Yeah, Vic Mill's falling down the field. He's in last now as well, and Toxic down to 14th. Oh, what a terrible start. Blizzard now up to 4th. What a great start for him, but Lyronix out front, he's gone. He's had a brilliant start. 1.4 seconds already ahead of Siege. Spike looking racing in third as well in the other. As I say that, Blizzard around the outside. He's not quite able to get there. Spike forces him wide, so Blizzard's not able to get the run around the outside, but he's looking very confident.
Suarez can't even keep control of the car. I don't know how he's still in 7th. He's just lost 2 positions there to Honey Badger and Venom. As he freaks his round. Just for the castle section. Yeah,
Z6 has made a mistake. Lyronix 2.1 seconds out in front. He's absolutely flying so far. We may have a new wet master by the looks of things, but look at Blizzard. He's so much more confident than the 2 in front of him. He's all over the back of Spike.
Spike's in the
wall!
wall!
On the brakes again. Yeah, far too late on the brakes once again. Happened in turn 3. It's happened at the end of the lap as well, and that's a lot of front wing damage. He's going to have to pick that amount of front wing damage. And Bliss is doing to third, who's already up into the podium positions at the end of lap 1. And he's looking far more confident. We've got another yellow flag. We've got another car on the wall.
Oh, Spike, sorry.
Oh, Spike coming back. No, he's not going to go for it. He's got too much front wing damage to make any sort of move there. Yeah, by the way, Storm, YWR Storm into the wall at the same corner as Spike, and it looks like Storm's out of the running at the moment. Vicnor's had another mistake somewhere, and he's dropped even further back.
Oh! We nearly had Chaos in behind. Brandon Glover trying to go for the gap. It's 3 wide down the straight. Both Venom and Carl. That is not good. Swallow!
Oh, huge crash.
There's a horrible crash there. I'm not sure what both of them were thinking, to be honest, and I'm not sure how Speedy Suarez is still in the race. He couldn't control the car down the straight. Him and Venom made contact, and that is really probably one of the worst crashes you may see in TTL F2 this season. That is going to have some severe repercussions, and Toxic has got no front wing either.
He's got no front wing at all. He was caught up in the aftermath of that. I think I'll have to watch that back, but by the looks of things, I actually think Venom came across.
He came across on Suarez. I totally agree on that.
Yeah, he came across the front of Suarez to try and come into the pits.
Oh,
I think Suarez just keeps out of the wall. Wow. I think Suarez was trying to come into the pit lane himself, as was Venom, and Venom just swiped across in front of him and took them both out of the race pretty much. Suarez is still going.
Goodness me, I'm not sure what Toxic's trying to think. Trying to go down the inside with front wing damage. Troll is into the wall as well, in behind.
Troll's out of the race,
From the feature race, I think the driving standards have slipped profusely out on track, and I think we can I can really say this on stream by saying, get your act together.
That is such a shame. I think from Venom's point of view, I just have to watch that back, but from Venom's point of view, that's really poor. That's a really poor mistake. Yeah. Oh, Honey Badger slapped the wall. Wow, Honey Badger massively slapped the wall with the kinks just before the corner that Spike hit the wall. That's a massive amount of front wing damage. There's no way he's going to continue with that. I think Blizzard, he passed Spike, and now his pace has disappeared. He's not able to keep up with Siege, and Lyronix is gone. 3.5 seconds up the road. Oh, we've got another yellow flag. That's Suarez. Suarez is round.
Suarez again.
Yeah, I think he's just not able to keep control of that car. I think Conti's got front wing damage as well. Or there's even more crashes happening in front. 007 Professional. I was going to say 007 Professional had a brilliant start, and he made his way from the back of the field up to P7. He's now got front wing damage as well. He's made contact with Suarez. Oh, this is really messy now. It's getting far too messy. Toxic with no front wing has ended up in 6th somehow. It's absolutely.
Oh, Suarez has lost his front wing. Suarez has lost his front wing. 007 goes through. Vicmil will go through as well.
Yeah,
for Vicmil. Oh,
Toxic obviously has to come in. Yeah, Toxic's coming in. He's carrying a lot of pace.
There's going to be a lot of people into the pits here.
Yeah, Lighty's in.
He
stays out. He has no front wing damage.
No front wing damage.
It's P5 from the back of the field.
Oh, Vicmil
stayed out. Vicmil stayed out. He's only got 1 in-plate missing, which is fair enough. But Vicmil has come from 19th. He's 5th.
Getting the move done as well. See, Thrixa,
yeah, he's through.
Toxic out of the race. Rightfully so, yeah. I think. Toxic out of the race. Definitely doesn't want to continue after that. Well,
I think he should have continued personally. He
sorry, they cut in. Blizzard's down the inside of Siege. This is down towards the castle section just before him. Blizzard's going to get him down the inside line. He's through. Yeah. That is how you do a clean overtake, guys, within the sprint race. Blizzard through. He's up to 2nd.
Yeah, that's a good move from Blizzard, but yeah, Lyronix just has far more pace than the people in front of him. If I was Toxic, I would have stayed in the race. If I'm honest, I think
Honey Badger's out.
Honey Badger.
Turn 3, straight on.
Yeah, he's gone straight on. He's gone straight on. He's way down the escape road. This race is really falling apart for a number of people. If people have retired in the pit lane, I would have stayed. I mean, Sean's made his way back up into 7th, and Lighty's back up into 8th, so they're still on for points. So I'm not quite sure why people would be retiring in the pit lane at this point. We've got Suarez has gone straight on down the road. Someone else has gone straight on with him as well. I didn't see who that was. I think that might have been Toxic's AI car actually after he's come out of the pit lane. So yeah, Spike's still going in this race. He's 13th though. He's now down at the back of the field. What a shame. This race is completely falling apart. Oh, Lighty nearly hits the wall as well in the castle section. Really well held, but wow, he nearly whacked them completely there.
I was just going to say, somebody that has kept it clean so far. He's just better come into this. He's just picked up front wing damage. Brandon Glover should be saluted. He should be knighted, I think, for his performance so far. He's just picked up a 5-second time penalty, I know. But trust me, he was the only one, I think, to get through that without any damage. And he's only picked up the damage at the top of the hill there. So Brandon has done a good job.
Yeah. Other person shout out C3xer. C3xer was at the back of the field and he made his way through and hasn't got any front wing damage himself either, and he's now
Victor's gone straight on!
He just keeps it out of the wall. I think Vicnor's really struggling with that end plate missing, but fair play to Vicnor for staying out. Fair play to him. He fell to the back of the field after contact at the start of the race. He's now 4th. He's higher than where he was when he started the race. So he's at a topsy-turvy one, and good stuff from C3xer as well. I don't want to jinx anything, I want to touch wood, but I think his luck's turned. I think this is the start of some good luck now for C3xer, hopefully.
Yeah, he's on the back of Vic Mill. This is for P4 out on track. Vic Mill just having to nurse that car, of course, with that front wing damage. C3xer on the back. But this is the only closest battle that I think we can give you, which will probably end up being clean. Conti has gone through on Professional, who's gone straight on through turn 1, I do believe that is. So Professional has just about rejoined track. I think everyone, to be honest, has struggled with these changing conditions. They have been used to the dry compound, the dry tyres and the dry setups out on track. Now that the wet races came, it is completely and utterly... Oh, Vic Mill's round in the castle section!
Oh,
just catching the apex.
Yeah, he caught the inside wall with his rear wheel. He caught with the rear wheel. He doesn't get any more damage from it, and he did have a bit of a gap back to Brandon Glover, so he's safe at the moment in P5. But that's put C3xer into P4 now.
Yeah, Suarez is on the back of Spike. This is for 11th out on track. Ironic speed passes them. Oh, and Suarez has lost it and he's out of the race.
Yeah,
eventually it was going to end, I think, in tears for him.
Yeah, I think this race really fell apart from the first corner for Suarez. He just didn't look in control of that car at any point, really, which is a shame. Yeah, pretty good pace in the dry. I think a lot of people, though, are making the mistake of going into a wet race and trying to carry too much speed. They're just driving too hard, too fast, not knowing the conditions. The likes of Lyronix, Blizzard and Siege, even though Blizzard was absolutely flying on the first lap, he was far more cautious and able to... He backed off pretty much. He knew that the conditions weren't good, so he gauged himself on the conditions first and then started to push. And that's why the top 3 have ended up where they are, and that's why Z3xer's ended up in P4.
Well, just to point out, though, everyone managed to get through the first 2 turns okay, with hardly any damage. And we were thinking, oh, well, this is going to be a fantastic race full of wet. And, I mean, look what's happened.
Yeah,
look what has happened.
Really fallen apart. Just a bizarre incident down the straight, no less, has caused chaos for half the field, pretty much. Well, over half the field at this point in the race. So that is a real shame. I definitely think that incident between Venom and Suarez is going to have to be looked at pretty hard. I think that's a really, really poor mistake from Venom.
I'm sure with drivers' POVs, of course, will tell a different story out on track as well, because, of course, it is really important to clarify that we do get the stewarding out on track. If you do not send in your footage, there is no point, really, in you trying to appeal for something that will inevitably come your way. So let me just clarify that now. If you haven't recorded this race, you're probably going to land yourself in a bit more trouble compared to others who have recorded the race and have been caught up in incidents, because I know we take a very hard-line approach when it comes to penalty points and stewarding and whatever, and I'm sure the stewards will do the best to their ability, do the right thing, award penalties for what to be honest, and I am going to say this, and I might get wrong for it, for a bit of a farce of a race, I think.
Yeah, it's been a real shame. It's put a real damper on things, really. We had a brilliant feature race, and this one's it's really fallen apart, hasn't it? It's such a shame. But hats off to the top 4 so far, and Vic Mill as well. Vic Mill, he had an incident himself on the first lap that he kind of got involved in an incident that wasn't really his fault. He just got caught in an incident of some people outbreaking themselves, and he kind of had to take boarding action for it. But fair play to them for staying out, and Brandon Glover as well. Fair play to those people for continuing on, and obviously for the people that are still going as well, fair play to them for continuing to go and try and get points as well. But it is a real shame at this point. Just to say though, this is going to absolutely blow the championship wide open at this point. Manufacturers wise as well, this is perfect for Trident. Trident have had not really the best start to the season. Bliss has kind of scored pretty much all of the points for C3 so far. I think actually he has scored all of the points for Trident so far, bar a couple maybe. But now that C3 is finally up into the points and Bliss has had a win and at the moment dead on second place, this is going to put Trident right at the front of the field with the current championship leaders of Campos down in 11th and out of the race, and Arden with one car in 5th and one car out of the race themselves as well, so that's going to jump them up the field. We've got yellow flags somewhere, as I say
that is Sean.
Yeah, so now both Campos cars are out of the race.
Straight on down into turn 15, that was, or 16 even.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
Real shame. He could have been within chance of points, I guess, but Spike obviously quite a way ahead. He retires the car out on track. I think he's probably made a mistake more than anything. He retired the car out on the track. This race has just completely fallen apart. I wish we could try and give you a replay of what happened to that dry race. We can't, sadly. So we're just going to have to try and coach our way through the final 7 laps or so, final 5 laps or so out on track. And this Ironics, he does lead by 5.7 seconds. He really has had, well, I wouldn't say he's had luck out on track. He just got away on the first lap of the race and totally dominated the race from there on in. And I think, to be honest, remember, I will point this out, this is only his second race in TTL F2 this season. First one being in the feature race, and this has been a dominant performance from Ironics, who, yes, has been a little lucky with what's happening behind, but had the run of the race right from the beginning. And even I think if everything didn't unfold how it would be, I think Ironics would still be out in front, probably to a lesser extent than that, but he would still be out in front.
Yeah, just a note though, Blizzard is starting to catch him a little bit, so Blizzard's starting to come into his own. I think it's going to be drying out at this point as well, so the Reds really aren't going to be at their best. There's no inters, of course, in this category. There's no intermediate tyres, so as soon as it gets into these kind of conditions, the Wets do really start to struggle.
Yeah, I've got a battle by the way out on track. I'm just running on board with 007, who is on the back of Conti, and 007, I've got to be honest, is using his Project Cars 2 skills to utterly great effect. Oh, Conti crits the inside of the wall. He doesn't lose any end plate damage, luckily. But goodness me, that was a very great big thump, really, against the wall for Conti. 007 on the back. But just to speak about him, he has had 2 wet races this season in Project Cars, and I think tonight, yes, he's pitted in once and he was caught up in that incident as well, but with his low gearing, it is really maximising his potential here out on track tonight. I think if he wasn't caught up within the whatever unfolded out on track, 007, I feel, would be within the shout of a top 5 if everything had panned out the way he was, because he was catching, I think, in the midfield before it all happened.
He was, yeah. I think he was up to about P7 and then Brandon got the pitches and he was up to P6, and then unfortunately Professional got himself some damage as well, and that's why he had to pit this falling down the field. Just to note, Z3 is really struggling in these wet conditions. Even with no front wing damage, it's just not the conditions for him, which is understandable. I think a number of people are really starting to struggle at this point. And Vic Mill with front wing damage, and he's obviously a rain master himself. Vic Mill's really starting to catch C3 now, so it's not over for P4 yet either, and Brandon, compared to the 2 in front of him, is absolutely flying, so I think we may have a 3-way battle for P4 at the end of this race.
We will have, hopefully, a 3-way battle for P4 out on track. Brandon is catching on the back of Z3 and Vic Mill. It is Z3 currently in 4th position, Vic Mill in 5th. We've still got that battle going on between Professional and Conti out on track, but really everything marred by a major collision earlier on in the race, and I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that, and I'm having a look at some of the responses, and I think it sums up what happened, to be honest. You can take a look for yourself. I'm not going to mention it on the stream, but you can take a look for yourself. Plenty of drivers unhappy. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and I agree with Storm. What Storm's put in about amazing first races, it's a shame that a dark shadow, in 2 senses of the word, dark shadows in terms of rain, but also because of the incident that happened. And he's right in the fact that an incident between 2 people that was completely avoidable was taking a number of people out of the race through no fault of their own. It is a real shame. I think there's not really anyone. I think most of the people out of the race at this point in time are out of the race because of someone else's accident, which is a real shame.
Just to put in, Professional's on the back of Conti. He could go for the move here. He's going to have to do it the hard way around the outside. We could see a good move here from Professional. Wet weather specialist in CRC Project Cars is about to go round the outside on Conti. Good move. Professional.
Yeah, move.
That is how you pull off a move in the wet. And he's through and he's up to P8. Professional up to P8 and getting on Conti on as soon as I say that.
Outbrace himself, yeah. Kept out of the wall, he went down the escape road to not get damaged, but he's
just about rejoined the head of Spike.
No, Spike's through. Spike's made his way through, but it's a thing. So Professional's now dropped down to P10, which is a shame. He was definitely on for a good result. He could have caught Lighty maybe, but just outbreaking himself. Luckily, he hasn't got any damage and he can continue on and still get points. I think it's the top 10 that get points in this championship, isn't it? So, just to word as well, Vicknell's now within a second of C3, so obviously there's no DRS, but Vicknell really starts to close now, and Brandon Glover's really closing as well. So we're still getting that battle for P4, and a note on the top 3 as well. Lyronix has calmed himself down a little bit. He was making a couple of errors on traction zones, but he's now calmed it down out front, and Blizzard isn't able to catch him anymore, and Siege is in a race on his own. Bless him, so far he's 13 seconds off the people in front and half a minute ahead of C3, so he's had a real lonely race in this one, but fair play to him, and that's another podium for Siege. He's very good at picking up results, even when he's not at his best, or whether his pace isn't as good as he around, and he's still very good at picking up points, so that's why he's still going to be in the championship fight at the end of this race.
With everything that's unfolding out on track, I'm pretty certain, and I'm not going to bet my house on it, Lyronix 30-second time penalty by the way, but I'm pretty certain Blizzard will be your championship leader going into next week.
I think it's possible.
I think it is.
I think it may be possible that he will be the championship leader. I think the only person that might stop him from being the championship leader at this point is Vicknell, or maybe Siege. But I think at this point, it's going to be close between those. I think Honey Badger's had a bit of a poor one. He had a podium, and now he's obviously out of this race. So I think Honey Badger's going to drop off the back of the top 4 at this point. I think top 6 P2 in the first race is going to help him out a little bit, but obviously he was unfortunately involved in that incident as well. So a number of people are going to fall down, but at the same time, a number of people are going to jump up. So we've got Blizzard jumping up the championship. Brandon Glover, by the looks of things, may jump up the standings as well, as will C3 as well. So a number of people are going to gain from this, but it's just a shame that we've had race happen as it has.
I'm just trying to calculate this up, by the way. Siege finished 6th in the first race, so that would be 8 points for him. Blizzard got 25 plus 1 for the fastest lap. So 26 points for Blizzard. So Blizzard has already overtaken Siege in that respect. So he is now ahead of Siege, even after the feature race. There is a very good battle going on. Vicknell just clonking the wall down the right-hand side, coming through turn 15. But with Blizzard currently in second, and presumably he is not going to lose second position out on track, with coming on to the penultimate lap, he might get the win.
I was just going to say, just to throw another spanner in the works, obviously Lyronix has picked up that 30-second time penalty.
He's gaining though.
He is gaining, and he's not far off of taking the win off of Lyronix, so I think, I don't want to be biased, but it would be great to see Lyronix win in his first weekend. I think he's had a brilliant run so far in this race, and we kind of have a new wet master on our hands, I think, in the shape of Lyronix. He's really applied himself really well to this race. I think it'd be great to see him win, but at the same time, Blizzard is driven behind in both races.
Here's your perfect battle now beginning to develop. P4, 3 wet. Oh, Brandon Glover into the wall.
Yeah,
right side end plate damage. Just took too much speed going through turn 2 there.
Yeah, that's such a shame. He caught Vicknell before Vicknell could catch C3, so that's going to give C3.
Just pointing out, with Vicknell's left side end plate damage, Brandon Glover's got right side end plate damage. This essentially, in theory, evens them out on track, and they will still gain on Z3.
Yeah, it depends on what Brandon's pace is like, even with the front wing damage. So obviously his pace without the damage was pretty good, so hopefully he can maintain kind of a similar level of pace. He's keeping up with Vicknell at this point, but Vicknell's kind of caught C3, and then the problem is that Vicknell's kind of caught C3 and then stalled out a bit. I'm not sure if the tyres are down. We got a yellow flag somewhere. I think that might be Lighty.
Professional, I think it was.
I think it might have been Lighty actually as well. Lighty's lost about 4 seconds to Conti, so I think Lighty may have made a mistake as well. So that's just another outbreaking manoeuvre possibly by the end of that.
Well,
part of this race.
yeah, it's the final lap of the race. And
Blizzard.
Lyronix has made a mistake.
Yeah, Blizzard, 3.4.
He's only 4 tenths off, yeah. I'm going to quickly check race director to just be sure. Lyronix has got a penalty, Blizzard's got a warning. So there you go.
There we go. So yeah, Blizzard's not really under threat from getting a penalty on this last lap unless he makes some sort of mistake.
Spike getting the move done, by the way, on Conti, and Brandon's run on the back of Vickmill.
Yeah. Is Brandon going to go for the move down the straight? Obviously,
He'll get him here, I think.
So there's no DRS, so it's going to be up to go straight on speed, but yeah, correct, straight on speed for Brandon.
Pulls out at the last minute. Here comes Brandon down the inside. Oh, much later on the brakes.
Is he going to get it stopped?
Yeah, he's got it easily.
Yeah, brilliant. Up to P5, so let's see if he can pass Zfixer, but at the moment Zfixer's got a little bit of a buffer. Just to comment on the leaders, Lyronix has had a great first sector, 4 tenths of a second faster at some point, so don't know if Blizzard made a mistake or if Lyronix has just upped his pace again.
Blizzard got very close to the wall there, though, through the castle section. Goodness me, inches apart.
Right on the limit, that's how you want to drive this track, really, on the limit, but not over it, so that's kind of what...
Oh, Lyronix has lost left side end plate damage!
Yeah. I just saw that. Yeah, I just saw that bouncing across the road from Blizzard's point of view. My word, is Blizzard going to win this race again by a really short margin down the straight? Oh no, Blizzard's going to make a mistake. He's rear locked into the last corner. That's going to
3.5 seconds up, but this is going to be telling again that this corner here, 18 and 19, is going to be a real difference. I think though it's just going to go to Lyronix, and again we're going to get quite a close finish, I do believe. Blizzard gaining 3.3. I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not.
No, not
Lyronix is going to have it by about 1.5 I think, coming across the line. Lyronix crosses the line. Blizzard,
and it is by,
nearly 2 tenths.
Another close finish, despite it not being on track, but that
good finish.
Locking in the last corner from Blizzard is
Blizzard, just to point out, I think might have had a little bit of winglet damage on the left side.
I think he's okay by the looks of things. He just had a rear locking moment into the last corner, and that ruined this one onto the straight, and that's what's costing the win in the end. Siege crosses the line, 21 seconds off the back of the top 2 in the end.
Brandon couldn't catch Z3 to there.
No, we couldn't pass him.
Oh, side by side, sorry. Spike and Lighty side by side, down in towards the castle section. No way. Don't think about this. Spike's got him.
Wow,
good
Spike
move.
with much better traction. So Spike switches away from 10th to 7th, so he's trying to get as many points as he can.
Yeah.
And throw himself into the championship battle as well. Got C6, he's going to cross the line for his best result of the season so far in P4. I think that's kind of got his championship off the ground. Brandon had a time penalty, so Vickmill jumps back up into P5, yeah. So
that's kind of very close to the wall, sorry.
That's why. Yeah, I think Spike's safe in P7 at this point.
Lighty is really wanting this. He is bunny hopping over the curbs, quite literally. But he's got left side end plate damage and he cannot catch. He's trying his best, bless him, but he's not going to catch him because Spike is going to come home for P7, I think, to be honest.
007 on the back of Conti for the line.
Oh no, we're not going to have this again, are we?
Pressure's going to get the run because Conti's got damage.
Are we? Oh, again?
We might do. We might get another one for P9
this
time round.
Conti, I think, has just got the legs to the line. Professional.
Pressure's got the straight line speed.
He hasn't. Professional's going to get close. It doesn't get on him. I think he had a penalty as well, Professional.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, the wet race. The wet race, pretty much, from the feature race to the sprint race, it was a case of hero to zero, and I think out on track, Lyronix just dominated in the sprint race here, and took a well-deserved win.
Yeah, and for his first weekend his first race event, in the TTL F2 Championship, great way to show your pace in the first one. I think maybe if he has a number of good dominant results, he could throw himself in with a good chance in the drivers' standings as well. Obviously, we're quite early in the season, so there's definitely no way we can rule him out just yet. But I think this weekend has really kind of lit the fire under Blizzard and both Tridents at this point now as well. I think we're going to see the best of Trident from here on out. I think their season really starts here.
That season will really start here. It is Lyronix who takes the win. Don't adjust your screens. It was a 3-second time penalty for Lyronix in the end. We didn't get a repeat of the feature race, I'm afraid. Blizzard in second, driving very consistently well. He gets my driver of the day.
Blizzard or Lyronix?
Blizzard.
Blizzard, yeah. I think there's not really anyone you can give that to apart from Blizzard, really. I think he's driven a sublime race in both races. I think Blizzard definitely is deserving of driver of the day as well.
Just to round off the rest of the order then, Siege finishing in 3rd, Z3 4th, Vic in 5th, Brandon Glover in 6th. Well done to everyone, by the way, hardly picking up any penalties out on track. Spike in 7th, YT in 8th, Conti in 9th, 7 Professional in 10th. Top 10 all get points, so well done for finishing. I think that is the order of the day. Sean Suarez, Honey Badger, Toxic, Chor, Ollie Flavel and the rest all DNFing out of the race in what was, well, a tale of two halves, really.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it is a shame. I think we were definitely on for a good race, and I think a mistake, but an incident between two people that was easily avoidable has really kind of ruined the race for a lot of people, including the people watching as well. So that's a shame, but fingers crossed we can iron that out and we avoid that for the next event.
We hope we can avoid that for the next event, and I'm sure we will see better driving within the sprint race next week. And just to confirm where we are going to be going next week, I'll get my trusty F2 calendar up beside me. Next week for TTL F2, we take in the Austrian Grand Prix from Spielberg.
Absolutely.
Should be fantastic, I think. That is going to be covered by myself and Aidan as per usual on a Tuesday night. If you have missed your esports fix for the night, go and watch the stream back if you're just tuning in now. Tune into the first half, presumably, the feature race, rather than the second half. Well, we got the closest finish ever in TTL F2 history, and probably ever within any TTL league as well, which was absolutely unbelievable. And for me to commentate on that, and I'll throw over to you in just a second, but for me to commentate over that is the closest finish I have ever commentated on, and you can probably appreciate why my voice just went going from literally shouting to high-pitched.
Yeah, I was the complete opposite. While you were making all the noise, I was speechless. I was just watching it. I forgot in that moment that I was a commentator, and I was just watching with my hands over my mouth, just completely shocked at the end of that race. I completely forgot to say anything. So I think two completely different reactions to that. But yeah, we definitely want to focus on the feature race, and that feature race was utterly brilliant. That was a brilliant feature race to watch. So yeah, like James said, if you're watching the stream back, watch the feature race. We'll just ignore the sprint race.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed, we're back to our usual ways next time out in Austria.
Just to confirm about the Driver of the Day and Complaints deadline, by the way, because I'm sure most of you guys will be wanting to hear this. Driver of the Day and Complaints deadline at 21:50, so that is in 33 minutes time according to my clock. That is 9:50 UK time, and the defence deadline is 10:10 UK time as well, so that is in about 53 minutes out on there. So please get your stewarding incidents in. If you feel something needs to be investigated, get it in. It is better to put a claim in and not get the blame. Simple as that.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, do it. Just do it.
The insurance tagline of the century, I'd say that one is.
Well, I'll tell you what, we were treated to a great feature race, and that will forever go down in my mind, certainly, as one of the best races that he will probably ever see, and to world-class drivers in Toxic and Blizzard. And I speak from that on a neutral perspective. What they delivered out on track, what the finish delivered out on track, was something that you may never see again. It is one of those moments in life where you will never see again. And of course, we are still going through the hardship of the coronavirus as well. But my reiteration to everyone who is tuning into the stream, my message, and I'm sure Aidan will agree with me on this, is to stay home, protect the NHS, save lives, protect your health service, whatever country you may be from as well. Stay at home. If you've got anybody outside now, get them in as soon as possible. Tell them to stay home. Tell them to self-isolate, and you will save lives. We will all save lives if we stay home.
Absolutely, yeah. And nothing to add to that.
And so that's that. And
nothing to add to that. Completely agree. I completely interrupted you, so you can continue with the sign off.
bit of brain clag, I think, there for my co-commentator. Goodness me. But we do appreciate you guys tuning in tonight for TTL F2. Although the sprint race didn't prove to be one of those races that you can really look on, the feature race was something to behold. You can go and watch that back now. Of course, the next time we will be live here on the TTTV channel, I should say, is for TTL F1 League 1. That is Kieran McGinley and myself going to be taking you through that one at 7 p.m. for practice, 8 p.m. for the race itself, and for qualifying. We might just stream the qualifying and the race. We've got some fancy track maps coming your way as well this week. Some new track maps this way for the graphics. Honey Badger as well, have to thank him for that. And then Friday, it's TTL F1, where my trusty co-commentator, who I'm sure will talk about his experience tonight in TTL F2, Speedy Suarez, will be joining me in the commentary box alongside me for TTL F1 League 2, and that is at 8 o'clock as always on a Friday night. And then we're back at it again with CRC on a Saturday, and it's Long Beach for the final 2 rounds of the season. Long Beach, and then I think we've got Bathurst for the final round of the season, my favourite ever track. And that, of course, will be Tier 2 at 7:30 and Tier 1 at 8:30. But for myself, Aidan, thank you very much for watching. Please stay home. Please protect the NHS. Please save lives. Be responsible. And we will see you next week for hopefully an instant classic in TTL F2. Goodbye.